Day of the Blizzard by Marietta Moskin. Drawings by Stephen Gammell. Cover by Paul Basham. Chapter 1. Katy turned down the kerosene lamp. Mamma was asleep at last. Her breathing was coming easier, and her face wasn't quite so flushed. Katy tucked in the sheets and carried the wash basin to the slop jar under the washstand. She glanced at the old clock on the mantel. 11 o'clock! She must have sat on that bed for hours, putting cold cloths on Mamma's burning forehead. 11 o'clock, and Papa still wasn't home. Where was Papa? His train had been due at Grand Central Depot at 7:15. Papa was a conductor on the New York Central Railroad. He had left New York City yesterday morning for his regular run to Buffalo. He should have been home hours ago. What was keeping him now? The calendar on the wall had Papa's workdays marked clearly in his bold script. Yes, he was due in tonight, Sunday, March 11th. That was today, but today was nearly over. Katy reached for the calendar page, as if touching the words he had written would somehow bring Papa close. She idly traced the large 1888 at the top of the page with her finger. Had Papa said anything about coming home late? She couldn't recall. Before he had left, Papa had grumbled about working a weekend shift. He didn't even know that Mamma's fever had taken a turn for the worse. If he had known, he would surely have hurried home. He wouldn't leave Katy alone, trying to take care of Mamma and the 5-year-old twins. Katy sighed. Usually she liked to do difficult grown-up things by herself. Ever since she turned 12, Katy felt very grown-up. She was pleased when Mamma depended on her. And Mamma did. Dependable Kate, Mamma called her, and Katy would flush with pride. Right now, though, Katy wished for some help. It was scary, seeing Mamma so weak. If only Aunt Maggie was here. Aunt Maggie was Mamma's sister. She was smart and cheerful, and she always made Katy feel good. But Aunt Maggie worked as a maid in a downtown hotel. There was no way to fetch her. So with Papa away, Katy was on her own. She looked up at her parents' wedding picture in its heavy carved frame on the wall. There they both were, Papa stiff in his dark suit, staring into the camera. Mamma, round-faced and smiling above the high lace collar, held at the throat with a bow-shaped pin. Katy knew the pin. It was the special garnet brooch which Grandma Kate had brought all the way from Ireland. All the women in Mamma's family had worn that pin on their wedding day. That's me, too, Katy thought, someday. The twins were soundly asleep in the next room. Katy wished that she, too, could stretch out on her cot. 11 o'clock was way past her bedtime. She turned to the window and leaned her forehead against the cold panes of glass. Outside it was raining hard. It had been raining all afternoon, but now it seemed worse than before. Katy tried to open the window a crack, but the wind was stronger than she. What a storm! Yesterday it had been like spring, and now it was freezing cold. The storm played with the rain, lashing it against the windows, whipping it against the sidewalks, turning it into hailstones and needle-like chips of sleet. In the pale circle of light shed by the street lamp at the corner, Katy watched a man making his way across East 81st Street. Katy wished it were Papa. The man was fighting his way against the storm, holding on to the lamp-post, to the tree in front of the next building, to the garbage can at the curb. With each step his feet were sliding away under him as if he were skating on ice. He was walking on ice. The pavement had become one giant sheet of ice, stretching across town. Suddenly the man lurched crazily, his arms flailing in the air. Katy nearly giggled out loud. He looked so funny, working so hard to walk just a few feet. Then she recognized him. It was Mr. Riley, their downstairs neighbor. Mr. Riley worked for the railroad, too. He probably was just coming home from work. Perhaps he would know about Papa. Katy tiptoed through Mamma's room, past the sleeping twins, and through the kitchen to the front door. She ran down the 3 flights of stairs to the downstairs hall. She tugged at the heavy entrance door. Mr. Riley was outside, climbing the front steps on his hands and knees. When he saw Katy, he held out his hand, and she helped pull him up the last step. Mr. Riley took off his sopping wet coat. He stamped his feet and blew into his hands. Icicles glistened in his dark beard. "What a night!" he gasped. "Never saw worse in my life. Cold enough to freeze one's ears off." Mr. Riley began to rub his left ear, which was chalky white. After a moment it turned a fiery red. So did the tip of his nose. Katy waited until Mr. Riley had caught his breath. Then she tugged at his sleeve. "Please, Mr. Riley, have you seen Papa? He hasn't come home yet. Mamma is sick, and I've been waiting and waiting." Mr. Riley seemed to really notice Katy for the first time. "Why, Katy," he said. "No, I haven't seen your father all day." He shook his head. "If he was on an incoming train, I doubt that he'll make it home tonight. There's been trouble up and down all the lines. Icy rails, frozen switches, snowdrifts upstate. Only a few trains made it into the depot tonight. And I heard tell there's more bad weather to come. It's bad enough as it is. Took me near on an hour to walk those few blocks from the 3rd Avenue L. Streets slick with ice, and the wind something fierce. I thought I might not make it, strong as I am." Still shaking his head, Mr. Riley began to climb the steep steps to his 2nd floor flat. Halfway up, he looked back. "Don't worry, lassie," he said. "Your pa will turn up. He knows how to take care of himself." Katy slowly followed Mr. Riley up the stairs. She heard him knock at his door, Mrs. Riley's voice, and then the door closing behind the 2 of them. She felt so alone. Papa wasn't coming tonight. There was no one to look after Mamma and the twins but Katy herself, and Katy was scared. Mamma had turned over in bed. She was moaning softly, but was still asleep. So were the twins. Katy took off her shoes and lay down on Papa's side of the big bed. She'd have to stay in here in case Mamma needed her during the night. It felt good to stretch out. Tomorrow, Mamma would be better, Katy thought. She has to be. Everything will be better. Papa will come home, and he'll know what to do. Behind the heavy drapes, pellets of sleet were drumming against the windows. Gale winds made the panes rattle inside the sashes. The storm was growing worse.